Hello, ladies. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, you are having a great evening, unless, of course, you're in Australia. Then, hopefully, you're having a great morning. So, good morning, New Zealand, Australia, everybody over in that part of the world, because I know you guys are about 14 hours ahead of us. So, your morning has gotten off to a nice start, hopefully. So, thanks for joining. I'm Twanna Carter. I am a career and anxiety coach, and I help women who are fed up with their anxiety holding them back. And what they really want is to overcome that stress and that doubt to get their life back on track for success and happiness because you do not have to choose one over the other, right? So today, I thank you for joining in. Today, we are discussing signs that our significant other is triggering our anxiety. Interesting indeed, right? Because most of the time that I'm on here talking, I'm talking kind of self-centered things that we can do to help ourselves. But today's, sometimes I have other topics, and this is almost one of them, because as you'll see we get into it, we're going to be looking at a couple of different things, right? So I did want to mention a couple of things. If you have questions or comments, you can always type those in the comment box and I will answer those on air. And as well, for all of you who catch me on the replay, as always, thank you for doing that. And you too can leave me a question or a comment, because I always circle back to be sure that I answer questions and comments that you ladies leave me, right? So, just a couple of things, right, to calm my anxiety, to be sure it stays in check. I do have some notes here that I'll be looking down to be sure that I hit all the topics that I said I would tell you all today, and to keep me on track, because I can start talking and get off track and be down the hill and around the mountain and over several curves, right? And you guys will be still wondering, like, but you said you were going to discuss. All right, so without further ado, signs that your significant other is causing, is triggering your anxiety, right? So, relationship anxiety. Yep, it is actually a thing. Many of us have relationship anxiety. So, here's the thing, it's fairly common, right? At the beginning of a relationship, because you really don't know where you're standing at the beginning of the relationship. And so you kind of tiptoeing in this little dance, give a little, I don't want to give too much just in case he's not involved. I don't want to give too much just in case she's not there. She hadn't really made up her mind. He hasn't really made up his mind. So yeah, there's some relationship anxiety at the beginning of any relationship. That is simply normal. It can also happen in well established long term relationships, right? There could be some things that happen that cause some relationship anxiety, whether it's just for one person or it's for both of you. And so, what's the big deal about relationship anxiety? Well, here's the thing, just like any other types of anxiety, it can cause emotional distress for one or both partners. It can cause emotional exhaustion, the constantly worrying, the constant anxiety, just back and forth can cause that emotional exhaustion. It can also cause a decrease in motivation. Just because you're emotionally exhausted, you're not really motivated to go out and tackle the world, right? You're just sitting right there round and around. It's like being on a hamster wheel. Like, is this going to help? Is it not going to work? What's going on? Oh my God, what is this? What if it's that? What if it's that? You can see how they can cause some emotional stress there. It can also cause stomach issues, right? Just like with any type of anxiety, nausea, stomach aches, stomach distress, diarrhea, very similar to what you would see in any type of anxiety, right? And so here's the thing, some of us come to the relationship with anxiety. And of course, if you listen to me before, I have social anxiety. So we're going to come to that relationship with anxiety. But some of us may develop anxiety after the relationship has started. So Chicken or the egg? Which one came first? Who actually knows, right? Now, again, it's pretty normal to feel some doubt and anxiety in the beginning stages of a relationship. You're kind of tiptoeing and feeling your way through. He's feeling his way out and she's feeling her way out. And, nobody really knows how it's gonna work out. And so that for some people it makes them a little nervous, a little anxious there. But so here are some questions, really, because I want to take you on a deep dive fairly quickly. And here's some questions that we can do that deep dive on, right? So if you are wondering, do I matter? If you're in a relationship, whether it's at the beginning, it's long term, it's in between, it's way at the end, if you are constantly questioning and asking yourself, do I matter in this relationship? Do I matter with him? Do I matter with her? You know, do I really matter? Okay. So here's scenario number one. You know, some questions you may want, some things you want to look at, some things you want to observe. Does your significant other compare you to his or her exes? Because again, the question was, do I matter? If you're in a situation where your ex is comparing you to her or your ex is comparing you to him, it's a question, right? Does your significant other refuse to provide emotional support to you? Do they talk down to you? Do they act as if you should fall down and kiss the ground that they walk on and be thankful that they ever walked into your life? Now, are they kind of distant one moment and they're kind of sort of okay the next, and then a few minutes later they're distant, like don't touch me, don't talk to me, I'm busy, I just need some time alone, leave me alone. If you're getting that from your ex, it is possible. If you're getting anxious because of this type of treatment, yeah, it is possible that your ex is triggering your anxiety. Absolutely, it is possible. Another scenario. Now, does your significant other often tell you how much they love you? Do they tell you how much they enjoy being with you, that they're happy you're in his or her life, that they're proud to be in a relationship with you? Are they affectionate with you? Are they attentive? And if they are, do you actually doubt that anyone can really feel that way about you? Do you doubt that anyone can really care that much about you, right? Do you hear that and think you're not good enough, that you're not sure that that could actually be true because you feel like you're not good enough for anybody in any relationship? Do you go around and find out, go through Facebook or social medias and find out who his ex was or find out who her ex was, and then when you find out, do you feel that their exes are better looking than you, that their exes had ex, or they have better careers or cuter kids or whatever it is, they were a better partner? If that's you, it's probably you who has anxiety. And for whatever reason, your anxiety is causing your thoughts to just run amok. This can happen because you walked into the relationship with anxiety, and you haven't managed it. You haven't gotten anything done, got any coaching to manage that. It can also happen because your automatic negative thoughts are just off the chain. They're just like going overboard, or it could just be because of previous relationship, right? It happens. It happens. If you were treated a certain way, in this relationship or past relationship, then your anxiety could cause you to doubt that anyone would care that deeply for you. But that was kind of in your ballpark, right? So when I said before, we be talking about signs your ex is triggering your anxiety, I'm going to give you the other side too. When it's not necessarily your ex, but it's just probably you who has anxiety that you need to get some clarity and some awareness on, right? So I want to see both sides of that picture, right? So let's go down to my next scenario, my second scenario here. Now, the second question is, does he really care about me? Right. And we're doing questions that you can ask, and we're doing a deep dive here. And does she really care about me? Just I kind of wonder now. I wonder. That's a question. So Scenario. Is your significant other distant? Are they really distant from you, as almost like they're cold sometimes? And then you come across them sometimes and they're like on fire and they're warm, but you never quite know where you stand, you know? And when they are cold and distant, and you know that, do they make you think that it's all in your mind? You know what you're talking about. It's not true. It's all in your mind. Is your significant other always spending time with their friends or with anybody else except for you? You guys are in a committed relationship. You agreed to this, but is he spending all his time with somebody else? Is she spending all her time with somebody else? And are you never a party in their life, right? Hmm. Questions, right? If that is what you're experiencing in that relationship, then yes, it's possible your significant other, rather, not your ex, not yet, right? But your ex may be triggering your anxiety. There's some, yeah, there's some possibility there. Scenario number two. Do you spend most of your time with him or most of your time with her, your significant other, but you're still not satisfied with the time you spend with them? Is your significant other still attentive? They spend all their time with you. They're very attentive. They're very, very careful with your feelings, and they spend time with you. They enjoy and they let you know that. But do you still panic when they want to spend time with the girls or spend time with the guys? Do you still panic even though they spend most of their time with you? You still panic if they're like, I just want to hang and chill with my friends. Chances are it could be that is your anxiety that is causing your automatic negative thoughts to run amok again, right? And that this is a great time for you to seek some anxiety coaching to work on probably some self-esteem and get some clarity about what is really going on with you. So again, I know I titled this and I'm not doing a bait and switch here, right? I did title this Signs Your Ex is Triggering Your Anxiety, but I'm giving you both sides of what could be going on. Because yes, if your partner is distant and they're cold and they make you think it's all in your mind and they don't spend much time with you, that you're never partying in your life, then it's possible they are triggering your anxiety. If you're feeling so anxious and overwhelmed because of that, yes, they are probably triggering your anxiety. But if your ex is attentive and they spend most of their time with you, and it's you who feels like they should not want to hang out with anybody else but you, and they shouldn't want to hang out with their family, or they shouldn't want to hang out with the girls, or they shouldn't want to hang out with the guys, that's in your ballpark, right? That's your ballpark. That's your anxiety taking you to another level, and that is a sign that it's just not being managed like it needs to be, right? So I don't want someone to hear this and go, she did a bait and switch. Nope, covering both sides of that. I'm covering when your significant other is probably doing some things to trigger your anxiety, but I'm also going to cover some things that probably point to the fact that there's some things that you just need to work on, and that's probably where the anxiety issue rests, right? So the question is still, is it you or is it your partner? Is it you or is it your partner? Are you a perfectionist and does everything have to go your way? Does everything need to be perfect? Or is the significant other the perfectionist and everything in a relationship needs to go their way, right? Do you like freak out when your partner doesn't do everything the way you want it? Or does your partner freak out when you don't do everything that they want? Different sides of the coin, because one of those is a trigger to your anxiety, and the other is just the anxiety issues that you haven't really delved down in and got some clarity so you can figure it out. Right. So again, it's like that question, is it you or is it your partner? Let's face it, sometimes our anxiety can push our loved ones away from us. It can. It happens if you have anxiety and you've had it for a while. You know that is absolutely possible. Over time, well, shoot, if the anxiety stresses us out, it's going to stress a significant other out too. So that's possible. And it can be difficult to figure out whether or not your partner is gaslighting you. That's possible too. Because even people that don't have anxiety can experience gaslighting. People do it, right? So there is absolutely a reason why I have awareness as the first step in my process when I work with clients. It's the very first step, because working with the coach will help you to elevate your self-awareness and your self-esteem to really help you get that clarity that you need to determine what is the best next step for you. Because at the end of the day, the most important question that you have to ask yourself is this: am I spending more time enjoying this relationship with my partner? Am I really having a good time? Or do I spend most of my time in this relationship worrying about this relationship, right? You know, is that where you're spending your time, just worrying and anxious and being nervous and full of dread? There's a line in the Eagle song, Take It to the Limit, that says you can spend all your time making love, or you can spend all of your love just making time. And so that is true. What you have to understand is this: if your partner is a trigger and that is what's causing your anxiety, you individually working on your anxiety still may not save that relationship. That's reality. Unless both you and your partner agree to address the behavior that's triggering your anxiety, if the significant other is causing it. On the other hand, if it's your anxiety that's causing the overthinking and the worrying, then it may be well worth your time to contact an anxiety coach or see a therapist to work through your anxiety issues. And what you'll find when you do that is you will be able to find that you can calm your anxiety, and you will be a much happier person in the relationship with someone who is not triggering your anxiety, right? Right. So that is it. That's what I did a little switch there, but I did cover. Yes, we talked about the things that signs that your partner, your significant other, is causing your anxiety. And just to recap here, we talked about whether or not your significant other compares you to his or her exes. Do they refuse to provide emotional support to you? Do they talk down to you? Do they act as if you should be the one that's happy that they are in your life, that you should be like basically kissing the ground, thankful that they're in your life? And are they distant one moment and like standoffish the next, and kind of sort of warm the next? That, yeah, if they're doing some of those things, it is possible they are triggering your anxiety. We also talked about the fact that if your significant other is always spending time with someone else and you are never the party in that relationship, yes, it is possible your significant other is his or her behavior is causing your anxiety to be triggered, right? But I also went back and gave you the things that probably points to you needing to get a hold of your own anxiety. And that is, if your significant other is loving and they're caring and they're attentive and they spend their time with you and they let you know how they appreciate you, but still you worry about, is it real? Is it not? Do they love me? Do they not? Am I good enough? Is the ex better than me? That is probably your anxiety that just needs to be handled, right? We talked about getting an anxiety coach or getting a therapist to work through those things, because you can get that awareness is important. That self-awareness is so important, because once you elevate that self-awareness, you can elevate the self-esteem. Oftentimes you can cause the issues going away, because you get your self-care, self-esteem taken care of. It also raises your self-confidence as well, right? So those are my motivational thoughts for you today, and I appreciate it. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up, share the video with someone who you think can benefit from this. And as always, those of you who catch me on the replay, thank you. So Alex says, good evening, Dr. Carter. Very beautiful headwear. Thank you. Thank you. My mom really did wraps and scarves when I was younger. I tried for a number of years on and off to get it, and I could not. So I'm kind of dedicated this time. I'm dedicated. And besides that, I ordered some new ones, so that helps as well. Okay. But certainly, again, if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you did. And also, for those of you who catch this on Facebook, you can actually go to my YouTube channel, Twanna Carter Professional Personal Coaching, and you can binge watch all of my lives there, because I do lives for Facebook and I do lives for YouTube as well. So thank you for joining me. And when you're at my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe so you can be notified every time I go live or put a new video out there. Now, I'll be back here on Friday this week, not Thursday. I'll be back here on Friday the 28th at 7 o'clock, changing my time a little bit to see if I can accommodate people's schedule. So I'll be here 7 o'clock Eastern time, that's 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will be 9 o'clock in the morning for Sydney, and it will be old dark o'clock for India because it's about 4:30 or something like that in the morning for you guys. Well, let's see, 7 plus 9. Yeah, about that, right? It's just really early, about 4:30 your time. So if you're up at that time, anybody in India, you catch me, thank you for that. Otherwise, if you catch me on a replay, I appreciate that. So this next one is probably also apropos right now. So the title of Friday's live is false positivity. Yeah, false positivity and why it is causing issues in the workplace. You know it. You've had that 1,001 Zoom meeting, and when you get on the first thing, they go, "How's everybody doing?" "Fine, great, good." And you know full and well if you said, "I'm not doing so hot. I can't sleep at night. I'm worried. I'm scared. I'm anxious. I'm nervous." If you actually said that in that meeting, you can almost hear a pin drop because you know everybody will get quiet because there's so many people trying to do the false positivity. "Oh, we're so good. Everything's going perfect, perfect, perfect." So you know that every time they say, "How's everybody doing?" you just stuff your feelings down and go, "Oh, I'm good. Everything's good." So we're going to talk about the difference between optimism and toxic negativity. There is a such thing, and it does cause people issue, and there's a lot of that going on right now. Okay, so be sure to join me here 7 o'clock on Friday, and I will look for you then. Thanks everyone for joining in. Take care. Bye-bye.